Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a new podcast series with Rangers and all that done now. Obviously, there'll be a bit more to talk about the day with Rangers and the fixtures, but this is the Euros Weekly podcast. We'll be bringing you our thoughts on all the games that's happened. Scotland in particular, of course, we'll go into detail about. This is a new podcast, so if you like it, let us know. It'll be up on Spotify and YouTube and stuff like that. So if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, that'd be very much appreciated. So before we go on to everything that happened in the opening week of the Euros, we'll start with Rangers for our listeners who obviously tune in for the Rangers content. The fixtures get released today. Always a big day in any season. 46 days, I think we're away for that now. So it's getting closer and closer, but we start the season off. We defend our title against Livingston at home. I'm just glad it's not the Tony Macaroni. The Old Firm game's the fourth game of the season. The winter break is back, and the January fixture list looks like it could be the ones we need to win the league. But what's your thoughts on seeing them at the first?
First off, it was a bit weird looking at it because they had it in gold, but we obviously know why it is in gold, Jack. They're the champions, of course, but it was just kind of weird when you're looking at trying to see the home games. I feel for the older viewers, if they need to zoom in with their glasses. But no, Livingston at home. Usually when you've won the title, they usually sort of throw you a bone, you don't want to say an easy game at home. Obviously, if it was away from home, much more difficult game, but at home it's a bit more comfortable for us, I would say. I'm looking forward to it, Jack. Watch some real football. Some proper football. Team that doesn't let you down. You know?
I know we'll get into that team very shortly, but looking forward to the new season starting. It just gets you buzzing seeing the fixture list to begin with. I'll be counting down to that Livingston game at home, hopefully inside the stadium, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. So that's pretty much everything that's happened in terms of Rangers. There's been a wee transfer rumour in the works as well. Osayi Samuel, who we talked about months and months ago before he joined Fenerbahce, has been linked. Apparently Rangers have made an official offer for him, but not seen anything really concrete about it, and we probably won't hear it until after the Euros anyway. So that's just all gossip at the moment. But whenever we find out anything on that, obviously we'll talk about it. So the first thing in for the Euros then, Christian Eriksen. It's obviously thoughts and prayers still out with him at the moment. He's put a post out on Instagram. And he's all right. He's still recovering that, but it took me by shock. I was actually going into Glasgow on the bus, wasn't watching the game at the time. You were the one that texted me saying what's happened to you, tuned into the game, and I could not believe what I was watching. Sad scenes, but we wish him all the best, of course.
Oh, listen, absolutely. Probably one of the most horrifying events you'll ever see. I think for me personally, the only thing I could sort of compare it to, also I wasn't born then, but sort of felt like in terms when you look at it for me personally, like a wrestling thing, when Owen Hart died, like, because he was gone for 5 minutes. I swear to God, his hand was, nothing was moving, and that was terrifying. I feel for people that were, watching obviously Euros as a family sort of event, I couldn't imagine having a child and having to, do you know what I mean? Especially when I was zooming in on his face and his thing with his wife as well was disgusting. But thank God the guy's all right, man. Miracle, science.
No.
It's a beautiful thing, Jack.
I know, finally.
That was the scariest thing.
Pulled through for us, and it was
just scariest thing.
So scary to be able to see that. And then the reports came out after it saying that he was gone for as long as he was on the pitch there, and then that defibrillator brought him back. And just massive thank you and everyone to the health services and everyone dealt with that situation, because it was a shock. Like, even the referee stopping the game as he did, the Danish players circling around him as well, so there wasn't any cameras on him, and that I feel was really strong for football. Brought everybody together and hoping Christian Eriksen was all right, and he is currently all right. And I'm happy to see that, of course. But we'll go on to the games now. We started off the Euros with Italy and Turkey on Friday. And I've got to say, Italy, they're the best team I've seen so far. We've seen a few of the big hitters tonight, but Italy are the best side I've seen at the tournament so far. I did big up Turkey last week when we were doing the predictors, but they fell short. Italy were really good. Was impressed by them. What was your thoughts on the opening game?
Well, I mean, a team wearing a white jersey playing attacking football, Jack, I've sort of been watching that all season, son. So it was impressive, but been watching it all season. Your team Turkey looked. I felt so sorry for the boy that's at Leicester playing alongside that guy that's at Juve, the young boy. He looked like he was nervous. He looked like he was rattled. I would be an all watching the Italians sing that national anthem.
Oof.
Beautiful thing, man. You can take, love it. Turkey were impressive. Best group I've watched so far has got to be Group C. The Dutch's group has been, I think it's been fantastic. That game with Ukraine, man, what a game of football. That was sensational for me personally, mate.
Aye, that was a good game. I was at work. I was watching that while I was in work. Good game. That second half was great for that one. But starting off the tournament strong. Italy, really good. I felt like Locatelli, Barella, and Berardi were really good. Immobile grew into the game a lot. Got his assist and his goal, which a lot of people were maybe saying he was flopping at this tournament because he's not scored in a tournament for Italy before. So they continue their unbeaten record as well through their international games, and I was impressed with them. I expect more for Turkey in the next couple of games, but I thought Italy were really strong. A good way to start the tournament. And Friday, Wales, Switzerland then finished 1 each. Goal ruled out with VAR for Switzerland later on in the game, but 1 each. Pretty fair result, to be honest. When I was watching the game, both decent sides. I was maybe Wales could have nicked it, maybe Switzerland could have nicked it, but in the end, I feel like a draw was fair for that one.
Well, listen, I thought Switzerland dominated that game, mate. That boy that scored the goal for them should have had a hat-trick, maybe even a couple more. Seems like another striker who played should have had a hat-trick and maybe some more, but we'll get onto that. But no, Wales get lucky, I would say. Personally for me, Wales get lucky in that game. Probably will give them a lot more confidence going into the next game. But I feel like they get lucky. Swiss were hard done. I like the Swiss, mate. Nice nation. I like them.
Aye, very sophisticated, the Swiss. Nice team and all. A lot of good players in that team. So maybe they feel hard done by not winning that game.
Sorry to hang with me, but do you know, I think their manager looks like the guy that tells the news in The Simpsons?
The guy that...
What's his name?
But I know who you're talking about. I'll need to go and look at it after this now. I'll need to go and look at it. I can't remember the Switzerland manager, but I'll have a look at that one. But Switzerland maybe hard done by. I feel like they'll get out of the group right enough. Then the Denmark-Finland game obviously stopped for the Eriksson incident. Came back on. Glenn Kamara played a big part in that game. I felt he was phenomenal. A lot of good plaudits for him. I've seen online as well. Really good performance for him, and he gets the result as well. But it was obviously overshadowed by the Eriksson stuff. But Finland looking strong, getting 3 points for their first game.
First off, the commentator, learn how to say his name right, please. I don't know if
Glenn Kamara.
Oh, aye. I mean, I've had enough of it. I think it's total disrespect. And then the disrespect for me in all way. Oh, well, he might go to Brighton. Why is he going to go to Brighton when we've got Champions League football on the horizon? You nugget.
I didn't even hear that.
Why would they do that? That's no, mate. Honestly, they were Martin. What's his name that played with Arsenal?
Martin Keown.
I mean, for me, that game shouldn't have get. Aye, see when Finland scored, obviously because of the circumstances, you know. Which all right, you could hang me, but I thought that was quite low to say that. Look, if they've agreed to come back out and play, but obviously I don't know if you've seen what Schmeichel's dad said, that apparently they were forced to go back out, or it was a forfeit of 3-0. For me, the game should have been called off after that. It should have been a draw. If they move home, it was 0-0 at half time. Yeah, everyone go back. You know what I mean? It was disgusting it played on for me, but just crazy, man. I still can't believe what I'm doing.
Even like, obviously, it's like mad conditions. Like, it's not as if something small's happened and you can just start the game back. Like, Christian Eriksen was near enough, like no longer with us anymore. Like, it's like such a massive thing to make a call on, and I don't believe the two sets of players would have went, aye, right. Obviously, they would have wanted to finish the game, but UEFA, I don't trust UEFA at all. They care more about like a COVID outbreak rather than a cardiac arrest on their pitch. So I seen somebody talking about that as well. It might have been the Danish manager. You need to wait 2 days before you can play after a COVID sort of incident, and you can nothing happens for a cardiac arrest. So I feel like it's on UEFA as well for the scenes they showed in BBC and all that. Like, just shows how scummy they are to the core. But take nothing away for the game. We've seen it. Finland won it, and they should maybe move on. Maybe a wee dark horse in this tournament now. Belgium, Russia. This is the only game. The next two I've not seen because I was working. Belgium and Russia, 3-0. I've seen the highlights after it. Lukaku turning on the style. 2 goals for him already. Pretty easy for Belgium.
Pretty easy for Belgium, but my man Yannick Carrasco almost scored a sensational goal, dribbling through with the ball and continuing on, almost getting the goal. Russia just, I don't even know what I was thinking, honestly. See, when obviously because the last tournament was in the Rome hanging, but I'm thinking myself, what was I thinking back then? They look, I mean, they've got 40-year-olds playing for them. Going up a big Lukaku is a beast, man. He's going to be, I think he'll get to let the golden boot or whatever for this tournament. I think Belgium might have a strong tournament looking at them. Depends when they play the big opposition, but they look really good against Russia anyway. The other game, I can't even remember what the other game was.
It was Austria and Macedonia. Austria won 3-1.
Oh, listen, that was a great game of football. I love the sort of the togetherness, the fighting and spirit that North Macedonia showed. Alioski was up to his old tricks again in that game. I know when the boy that used to be at West Ham scored, he was trying to seen that Alaba was trying to close his mouth because he was trying to go on a racist rant or something. I seen. So Alba was trying to think it. At the time, it looked weird. It looked like he was just grabbing me. I'm like, what's going on there? But then when you hear what's happened, so big up him for that. They'll probably go through. I think you only have to win one game in this group stage, to be honest. But they look comfortable to go through it for me.
Austria. We've seen the highlights for it anyway. Pretty decent goals they scored. That first goal they scored for Liner, that was some crossing hit he had for that one. And then Arnautovic, I don't know what that was all about, but less on that the better. I feel Macedonia, as you say, Goran Pandev still doing it. 37 years old, gets his goal at the Euros, and as you say, togetherness for North Macedonia. They actually went for it, unlike a team yesterday who we'll get on to very soon. And then Netherlands, Ukraine, you highlighted that as a really good game to watch. Gini Wijnaldum opened the scoring with that one. Weghorst bagging me points for my fantasy team. I stuck him in there. And then the winner come for Denzel Dumfries. And you can't take away from Ukraine's attempt to come back as well. But I thought they were wrote off after that. And then Yarmolenko scores possibly one of the goals of the tournament. And they get a header right after that as well. But really good game, that one.
That's the game of the tournament so far for me. I mean, you know what the goal of the tournament so far is. We'll get on to that, but that was just fantastic. I enjoyed every minute of that game. It wasn't boring. Like for me, I'm going to say it, the England game. Let's just pass the ball. Both teams went for it. Wijnaldum, just fantastic. He had a shot, I think it was in the first half just before. Keeper made a great save. I don't know if it was Wijnaldum, I can't remember. Somebody had a shot and the keeper just saved it. Keeper had a decent game until I think sort of the goals were going in. He started to just, what's the point? But his team actually fought back, Jack. They actually fought back, showed some spirit, and they almost got a result. So big up them.
Exactly, big up them. Some attempt at a comeback, but Wijnaldum in that advanced position, he just looks so much better for Holland, and I feel like that's maybe why he fell out at Liverpool with no signing a new contract. He's able to play him in a holding role, and for me, he's so much better going attacking, and we might see a bit more for him at PSG in that role, but he was really good for Holland. Great game as well. And then England-Croatia was the next one. Borefest and a half, that one. No Borna Barisic, so no party at all. But boring game. England, they got the result.
The only highlight...
That's it.
The only highlight from that game was the Yorkshire Pirlo, Calvin Phillips. I don't know how many times the disrespect that England fans have showed him. He shouldn't be playing this and that. My man just showed you why he should be playing, because he is an absolute baller. But no, that game was... I was really surprised with Croatia. Croatia just looked like they weren't there. It looked like a training session to me. Croatia, where were they? I know they'll come fighting it against us, but they didn't look at all in that game.
No, Croatia were honking. That's probably maybe the worst performance I've seen for a team at the Euro so far. They were shocking. Getting nowhere really near England. Didn't really do anything to hurt them. It was just all when are England going to score and win? That was pretty much all that game was. Calvin Phillips has put himself on the map now as well. A lot of eyes on him now. Really good performance for him in the middle of the park. And then Jude Bellingham come on for his debut as well. 17 years old. I think he's the youngest player at the Euros now. So he came on. over Jordan
was-
Henderson, Liverpool captain, and made his Euros debut. So happy for him as well.
What was sorry to hang you there, mate, but was that England bringing on a young player who could potentially change the game?
And
for
no,
them?
it was.
Is that what England did there?
Exactly.
Wow,
That's what
that is somebody could tell a certain man we're going to get on to you about that.
I love how every single game
Um,
has a wee dig at Scotland. I'm loving it right now, and it's building up to it perfectly. The next game, well, this time yesterday, it was Poland Slovakia. 2-1 to Slovakia. Slovakia really impressed me, by the way. I wasn't expecting anything for them, but they really, really impressed me. Really good game for them. Poland, I said this last week when we talked about our predictions, like Lewandowski could just win them games on his own, but he's not getting the service. He's not getting the players that are good enough around him really to supply him with much. But Slovakia, really good for them, and I deserved result for them.
Really deserved result for them. That's why I sort of put them to go through over Poland for me personally. I just think because I think the manager's only had 5 games to work with the national team in terms of Poland, so it's going to be a lot difficult for them. He doesn't have a sevens. As you're talking about for Robert Lewandowski, I don't think he does. Obviously, Matthias Clark plays with Leeds. It's good to see him there. But I mean, I'm not even going to say that. I thought we had a Wally, a keeper. I mean, he's got bad luck. What's his name? Chesney. I think it's like 3 times in a row. Started as the Euros. It's not went well for him. I wouldn't class that as an own goal, but I thought that was fantastic for the player that scored it. But I thought it was a decent game. Great second goal for that centre half was fantastic. Rocket.
That was a screamer, man. You just see as soon as it came into the box, just fell perfectly. Screamer into the back of the net. Slovakia get the well-deserved result, as I said, and looking strong there. And then last night's game, Spain-Sweden. I feel Spain are going to struggle. I really do. They should have won this game. They had a good few really good opportunities. Morata back to his old self by the post. But Sweden, they had a good few chances as well. It went off Marcus Llorente onto the post. Isaac done really well, put it on a plate for Berg and he missed basically an open goal. Gerard Moreno had a chance at the end of the second half. But I just feel that they're lacking experience, Spain. I really thought they should have took somebody like Sergio Ramos in there to be able to help this team forward. They're a really young team, but I was impressed with Pedri at Barcelona. He's going to be a superstar. He was great. I've seen a lot of criticism for your man Marcus Llorente. I know he's not a right back, but there was criticising his crossing all the time. I'm like, well, I know for a fact he's not naturally a right back, so that's where you're down to there. But anybody else that impressed me?
Okay.
Koke was decent. Rodri was maybe a bit poor, but that's his job. He's in the Busquets role, isn't he? So Jordi Alba was good as well. Down that left-hand side, I thought he was good. But apart from that, Spain underperformed for me. They should have been taking their chances.
Definitely should have been taking the chances, but I know Luis Enrique's going on about the surface. He isn't happy at the venue that it's been played at. It feels like the surface doesn't credit their style or whatever. Sweden dug in last night. They had to defend. They had to just everyone stay in that box. The boy that you were on about there that slit up that what's it, Bergen or whatever for the open goal. He get to. I don't know why the manager took him off because they could have got Spain on the counter. Spain, everyone was fourth, looking to do something. I think Luis Enrique needs to play the boy for Villarreal. I think he has to start. If you want to win these games in the tournament, you've got to have a striker on that knows how to put the ball in the net. Yeah, again, something we could do maybe in the next game. That would be nice, Steve, if you could do that. But yeah, I just say credit to Sweden. The thing I'm loving about this tournament as well is we've got a lot of players there, and it's nice that they're there. But I was happy Phil Lander didn't play last night. I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm happy they're there. I'm happy they're going. Sooner they're better back. We can get the Champions League going. That's my main focus. Don't want them to get injured. But no, it was disappointing for Spain, I would say, in terms of putting the ball in the net. But it's just the balls they were playing. But see, when Thiago came in on all and he's just zinging them across, I'm thinking to myself, what a guy. But as you said with Marcus Llorente, not a natural right back. He's usually putting the ball in the net or assisting to get the ball in the net. So, bit unfair there, but who knows with the next game, Jack? Who knows with the next game?
Well, Portugal nearly just scored there. Diogo Jota nearly scored. So,
Man,
him, but I expect more for Spain. Morata won't start. I don't think Moreno should start. But it's all about putting the ball in the back of the net, and this is what Scotland couldn't do. So the Scotland game happened. It was a really dull game. First game at a major tournament in our life, and that's what we get served by. Looking at the team that came out at the very start of the game, just like what even is that? Like he's basically Steve Clarke is playing the players that got him to the tournament, not who is actually like the best players in the side that will get you the result. So I know you've been dying to talk about this, so maybe your thoughts on that.
I'll hit you my thoughts. I'm going to start off with a wee story for everyone here. As I said, when I watched the Alex Ferguson documentary, he was talking about the cup final against Crystal Palace, and he brought down the Aberdeen goalkeeper. He wanted to stay loyal to him. I think it finished a draw, so they were rematch, second leg, and he wanted to win it. So what did he do? He decided not to play the player that he's been loyal to. He's gave him so many chances, he wasn't good enough. He played the other goalkeeper, and what happened? Ferguson went and ran the game. I think Steve Clarke needs to maybe listen to that, because Stephen O'Donnell is nowhere good enough to be representing Scotland. Nathan Patterson has just won the league. The only time Stephen O'Donnell will ever see that trophy is when he looks at Nathan Patterson's phone, or Patterson's got the picture of him holding it. I mean, Ryan Christie made a lovely move, and then Stephen O'Donnell has to get in the way, decided, I'm going to play for the Czechs for this. I mean, I've never wanted to throw my phone about or anything like that before, but at that moment, I was really upset with that, Jack, to be honest with you. When they came out for the national anthem, you could tell who was up for it. I was looking at Andy Robertson. I thought he had a fantastic game yesterday. You could see in his eyes he was up for it. Ryan Christie was up for it. That's the thing that I'm on about here when I'm talking about Patterson. Rangers and Celtic fans are both saying, play him. He's going to get us there, you know what I mean? He's going to do well. Even Turnbull, I don't care who he plays for. Put them on, they're going to do the job. Not Armstrong, who just wants to run about like a gazelle. Look at me. No, mate, come off the park. You're not doing it. Jay Adams had to start that game for me. You have to play your best players at these tournaments. But it's all right, because the guy who everyone was saying was amazing for saving a penalty will now go on to be a living meme for the rest of his life because of that goal. I tell you what, I've already seen the Spider-Man memes, the Mick Foley throwing him off the cage memes, and it's rightly deserved, because if you want to make out you're a good goalkeeper because you did your job in saving a penalty, I think you deserve that, to be honest with you. It's just the fact that everyone was up for it, man. I've honestly never seen that before in my life, where everyone's actually united and we're all wanting this, especially against a couple of, no labelling the entirety of Czech Republic racist, but we know who we said thing we were at West Ham boy. I don't want to lose to that. Do you know what I mean? That kind of playing way. But their forward, as he said in his interview, he was watching David Marshall game and he knew to hit that. It wasn't as good as Kemar Roos because the surface roof was playing on and the weather conditions much better in my opinion. That one was a nice wee breeze, just chip. But watching David Marshall hit the back of the net, that was probably the highlight of the game.
Yeah, you're actually right. It's not even like a laugh. That was the best thing that happened in the full game. What is that lineup going to do for you? See, as soon as I knew Stephen O'Donnell was going to start yesterday, but I've always disliked him. You shouldn't be starting a Motherwell player at a major tournament to try and win a game. You look how limited he is at going forward. Why is he playing with Motherwell? Because he's no good enough to be at the level he's at. So he's lucky he's in there.
That's what I'm on about.
And he won't start again, surely.
He shouldn't start again. I tell you something, because to me he's clearly watched what Patterson's doing. Because I've seen him a couple of times try to pass the ball and then go to do a big long run. You ain't young enough. You ain't quick enough to do that. Patterson has got energy. He's a young guy. He's energetic. He's playing at the top level. You should have been commentating on the game probably for Sportsy. And I'll tell you something else. See with the frauds that are commentating at this tournament, the women are so much. They'll educate you so much more on the actual game for me. Look at that Chelsea manager that was on the Poland game yesterday. Fantastic. She was telling you what was going on. Thingmy that used to play for her sister that's on the now for the Portugal game, and then Alex Scott as well. I think they educate you so much more than the men do. The men are just there for a payday, in my opinion. Cesc Fabregas is all right. Shearer, maybe. I mean, all the England ones are frauds when these tournaments happen. They big up England, and then what happens? They lose to Iceland, and then they go, England are disgraced or this and that. Well, we'll see when your team do go out. I don't care. Honestly, if we go out, as long as we get something for that game, because they're already starting. Do you know what I mean? I can't stand it. It's the same with every game so far covered at this tournament. We'll talk about it for a minute, and then back to how wonderful England are. It's not even the players that do this. I don't have a problem with the players. I think all the players are fantastic. They have a great team, but it's the coverage yet.
Nah,
Right? Can you
it's
stop going on
poor.
about England for a minute?
No, it's
It's
the
really poor,
same
mate.
as you said when you were watching the build up to this before. Gary Neville and that are on. They're already talking about the Scotland England game, and there's literally a game on the now that they should be talking about. Like, why get Gary Neville on that if they don't know anything about these two teams that are playing? Like, 100% agree with that. Like, with the whole England propaganda for every tournament, like it's just like, see if they were a proper good side and they've won as many like European trophies and all that. Like they haven't though. They stumble at every level, and they have done for it like the majority in my lifetime. So 2018 was the only time they actually had a real good shot at maybe going on to win something. But
It's an easy run.
you would think
Easy
they've
run.
won every tournament under the sun. The way they talk about them sometimes. But back to the Scotland game. The chances that Scotland had, I felt like they actually started the game all right. I know, like maybe riding off the fans and that, and the anthem and all that. The buzz was there. Started the game positively. Thought right, could be onto something special. And then Stephen O'Donnell was at the right hand side, and he tripped himself up with the ball in a minute of play. And as soon as that happened, that's when the game flipped for me. There was a few chances. Robertson had his one. Like you can't blame him. He's a left back. He's just trying to do his best with the shot for there. But I feel like he should be drilling that into the low bottom corner anyway. Lyndon Dykes had a chance after it was 2-0. Jack Hendry hit the bar, and then Jack Hendry is the one who tries to shoot again. Think he's going to score and think he's Ronaldo. Leaves his cell out of position, and that's how that second goal happens. If he just makes a pass, that goal doesn't happen at that time. You're still in with a shout. But complete disaster for Scotland. And then you look at the subs that come on. Shea Adams should, as you said, should have started the game. He's the best striker available to us. Why isn't he playing?
No, I mean, it's just when you said the sums. I mean, as you tweeted out, we're chasing a game and Callum McGregor comes on. Nothing against the guy personally, but Callum McGregor, what are you doing?
Exactly. Like the subs were maybe. I seen the tweet for CJ Novo, like worse than Pedro Caixinha's time, where he brung off 3 defenders and brung on like a midfielder and a winger at a time. Like that's how bad the substitutions were there. Like who did he bring on? He brought on Adams, which was right to bring on at that time, but should have started the game. He brought on Ryan Fraser, James Forrest, Callum McGregor. Like Callum McGregor was the one that I nearly switched off the telly when I seen that. To be honest, like you've got young guys in the park, like David Turnbull, like he's going to make something happen. You've seen him many times this season. Billy Gilmore, I maybe wouldn't have brought him on personally, or Patterson, because I don't want them to be getting any negativity towards a bad result. So hopefully they get some game time in Friday. But the changes were shocking.
The thing for diabolical, mate. But the thing for me is, man, honestly thought that, as you're saying, the first time, I thought they were up for it. I tell you, they wouldn't have been up for it if they had to listen to James McFadden commentate. I'm sick of listening to him commentate. I tell you that. You're buzzing, and then here comes depression. It's James McFadden. I've had enough with that guy commentating. I thought Cooper, Robbo, Hanley, I thought they were doing well. You could tell they were up for it. It was that right side of the defence, man, that let us down, and the goalkeeper for me. Obviously, you could say Armstrong as well. I don't think he was good enough, but
Armstrong was
just the
missing.
fact you're going to bring James Forrest on. Just the fact you're going to bring James Forrest on before even going, do you know what, Patterson? And it's not even, if maybe Forrest had a full season, you would go all right. But he's not. He's been injured for the majority.
The thing is with James Forrest, like I think he's a good player. He's seen when he was on for 5-10 minutes, he had that chance where he skipped by a few, but after his season at Celtic, like he's played 5, maybe not even 10 games that season there, out for the majority. Like I wouldn't be bringing him to a tournament. I know how good he can be, but he's not obviously up there in match fitness, and it wouldn't surprise me again if in the England game he starts at right wing back, like over Patterson. That's what I'm prepared for currently, like for him to start at right back instead of him. But we'll see what happens with that on Friday. Armstrong was missing. I've heard a lot of hype about Armstrong. Like, he is a really good player when I've seen him, but don't know, he just didn't seem to work in there. I mean, John McGinn doesn't have a good game. I mean, it's not really going to happen for you. Like, you can see he's trying to do stuff, but he's trying to take it. It's like Ryan Kent. I always take it back to that game against Livingston early on, 0-0 last season. He just tried to do everything himself, and I'm like, right, chill out a bit. Like John McGinn is that guy for me yesterday. McTominay getting put to defence and all that. Like, for Cal McGregor to come on, just poorly mismanaged. And what can you expect for Steve Clarke, a guy who's built his reputation up with making teams that are defensive minded? So, gutted a bit, but it is what it is, and you move on to England now, Wembley, Friday. How do you see that one going?
If he plays O'Donnell and all that, I see it being a 5-0. I really do. If he plays the same team that I think that game, it's a 5-0 England. For me, he has to make changes. I know Tierney's fit, which is a massive plus. There's a warrior ready to go to war for me personally. So I probably would take Hendry, Tierney in, Hanley move up a wee bit. Patterson, I'd play him, just play him. Let him play in that game.
Yeah.
I would probably take Armstrong out, maybe put Christie there, and then play Shane London up. I think with Lyndon Dykes is he's getting all these chances and you're thinking to yourself, right, that's a plus, but at the same time, come on, mate, you've got to take them. Like that one where it felt him and then he just tried to pass it in. I'm like, no, you've got to rattle that. Do you know what I mean? But we'll see, mate. What about yourself?
I was going to go for my team now. Like, for me, you can't start Jack Hendry against England. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. Like, you cannot start him. Like, he's improved. You can see clearly he's improved the last time we've seen him at Celtic, but still not there yet for me. Cooper, I feel like he was maybe a bit shaky and all, but he's one of the best centre halves in the squad. I feel like you need to start him regardless. Grant Hanley, not my pick either. Personally, I feel like the centre backs we've got are, it's just.
He was up for it, but
he was up for it. But I'm just like, who do you even really want to pick here? If I could pick none of them, I would. That's how I feel.
That's what I'm saying, mate. There's nobody there, but so that's your options. That's what my thing is. I would say Henry's improved, but that's what I'm saying. All right, you play Jack Kenny, then watch England select somebody like Foden or Sancho to play there. They're going to rip him apart.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to absolutely tear him a new one.
Aye.
So that's the worrying thing there. Davy Marshall should probably just get a hotel for the rest of the tournament, in my opinion.
Aye, like he's going to start. He's going to start, but he's how many goalkeepers in Scotland are ahead of him? I would say, obviously, Al McGregor. I'd say the two of them sitting in the bench at Scotland are better than him and all. Xander Clark, I would even take over him at St Johnstone.
Aye.
But David Marshall's the one that starts. He's maybe 5th or 6th choice Scotland keeper for me, and he starts every game for them. As you say, living off a penalty save. He's not really done anything in terms of goalkeeping other than that for me. Like, is that the only reason he's starting?
But that's the thing that's the thing I say is I look forward to the days when you yourself, me, are a bit older and Davy Marshall's on, say, a match of the day and they bring that goal up. I cannot wait because I hope it's hello darkness, my friend. Because that's what we all, you know what I mean? Because that's what are you doing up there? You absolute idiot. I think Craig Gordon needs to play. As he said with Xander Clark, how does he not get picked? He just did the double in terms of the cup. How does he not get picked?
I'm surprised there's not even one St Johnstone player in this team. As I said, like past times I've talked about Scotland squads and that, I'd take Kerr or Gordon over some of the centre halves that are picked there. And I'd definitely take Xander Clark in the future. Decent keeper him. Every time I've seen him against us, we can never score with Xander Clark in. But I agree, Craig Gordon is the one I would start if you really have to. John McLaughlin's unlucky to be starting as well. A really good goalkeeper sitting there in his 3rd choice. It's unlucky for him, but Patterson has to start against England, against whoever it will be at left wing for them. Sterling, Grealish, Foden, whoever it is. It's going to be a tough afternoon, and Stephen O'Donnell isn't going to last 2 seconds if he starts against one of them. So Patterson for me. Hanley, Cooper and Tierney, I would start it as the 3 centre halves. Robertson at left back. I'd start with McGinn and McTominay again. I'd start with Gilmore in place of Armstrong in midfield, but wouldn't mind Turnbull either. I every time I've seen Billy Gilmore, I just like how composed he is in the ball. He's so creative. He's asking for the ball at 19. I'd have that in my team any day. Who cares how young he is? He's obviously got talent. And then my 2 up front, probably not going to be happening, but Nisbet and Adams for me. Nisbet came on. He tried, but it was gone by then. I think he deserves his chance now. Like, Dykes missed all the chances. Adams is obviously going to play, so getting Nisbet in, he's going to get you a goal for anywhere, and I feel like he scores that one that Dykes gets. So that's the team I'd go with against England. I see it's maybe more positive anyway than with the shite we seen yesterday.
Steve Clark. More positive than Steve Clark anyway, mate. I'm the same. I'd be playing Craig Gordon, Grant Hanley, Cooper, Tierney, Patterson, Robbo. I would bring in a Gilmore. I just think we need to go for it. Go for it, because I'm telling you right now, Czech Republic are going to beat Croatia, and then it's where are you going for there? I really feel like it. I just think go for it. Throw them on it. If he has, he's proven already for that half time that he doesn't have the goal. I can't believe he's a manager that doesn't give motivational speeches or tries to fire his players up in occasions like this. For me, you've got to play the young ones and just say, look, listen, go for it. If we can get something, great. If we don't, then that's fine. And if but I just feel like the Croatians are going to lose to the Czech Republic. I honestly feel for that game they're going to be on a momentum.
See if we can get anything for England at Wembley. You'll take it, of course you will, because Scotland are getting wrote off by everybody now. Like, we were all excited to see our country at a tournament, see how they could do. It was a positive squad announcement. Like, you've got players in there you really want to go and see play. But Steve Clark obviously shut that down yesterday, and I just hope going into England at Wembley he tries something different. He can't stand and sit and play those same players again. They just underperformed and have underperformed for him. Like, apart from one Serbia game where we'll get lucky in penalties to get here, I've not seen one decent performance for a Scotland team that wants all these players to start all the time. Get some fresh blood in there. Get Patterson, get Gilmore, get Turnbull playing, get Nisbet in about it. Shea Adams is a real bright spark for me as well. If we didn't have him, I'd feel we'd be fucking lost up front at times. I like him, and I'd like to see, although I'm against James Forrest being there, he's there. Use him if we can off the bench. He's a good asset to come off the bench. Even Ryan Fraser at times, maybe, I just feel he's limited in terms of what he can do. He's fast. I'll give him that, but I don't know about him. But that's the team I would start. I'd like to see a bit more ambition. But if I see that team in Friday night and it's similar to it was on Monday, best believe we're getting pumped. I just want to see something that makes me want to actually tune in and get behind it, rather than just mediocrity every single time I watch Scotland. So I'm hoping we see some of these players. Like, you looking, as I said, like, you look at the flip side of England, they're bringing on Jude Bellingham, they're starting Phil Foden, 20 and 17-year-old. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, Gilmore and Patterson and stuff like that can come into this side. Like, that needs to be rubbish now. Just get them in and get them playing for me.
It was rubbish for the start, mate. The league winners and the Champions League winners, they have to be in the team for me. As you say, Turnbull's probably been Celtic's best player this season. So I just go for it. That's my opinion. Just go for it. I don't care who plays. Well, I do. I don't want O'Donnell or Marshall playing, I tell you that. Those two for me, probably I'd send them back home. Maybe send them, I don't know where to send them, but send them far away for the national team anyway. They're a disgrace to me personally. As I say, mate, I've never seen that before. What a beautiful film that was before James McFadden opened his mouth. It was beautiful, man. You see the whole country together. And obviously James McFadden came on and killed my buzz. I thought, what's this guy doing on commentary again? But as I was saying with England, they're positive. Even the Czechs, they brought a young lad on that's supposed to be the next big sensation. And that's what I'm saying there. You've got to play him. You can't just go, oh, well, it's good experience for him to be here and be with us. Because the way it's going, Steve, I don't think you might be going to the World Cup and all, pal. And I personally wouldn't want to go to the World Cup because of where it is and everything that's going on with that. But that's another topic for another day. For me, you just need to back the youth and go for it. Che Adams, bring him on. He'd probably bury all those chances that Lyndon Dykes had. Robertson was up for it. And then you'll have somebody back in the team, thankfully. And Kieran Tierney, who will be up for it even more. And he'll be the same as Robbo. He'll let his voice be heard. They will go for it, hopefully. England is going to be a difficult game, 100%. As we're saying, if we play the likes of O'Donnell and all that, it's a tough day at the office. But if we just have a bit of hope and a bit of belief, maybe we can nick a draw or we can nick something. And then hopefully in the Croatia game, that's where you have to go for it. That's another game where you have to go and win it. Because I really do believe the Czech Republic are going to beat Croatia. For what I've seen for Croatia and what I've seen for the Czechs, I really think Czech Republic are are going to do something.
Nah, and I feel the same with that. Croatia are really poor. Czech Republic impressed me. Like Patrick Schick, good striker. Like he's played with Leipzig. He plays with Bayer Leverkusen now. Like, good striker, knows where the net is. As we seen yesterday, he's already up there in terms of top scorer for the tournament. So we'll see what happens. I just hope Scotland actually go for it. And I'll be praying until Friday. But there's loads more games throughout the week. But I've enjoyed talking about the first week of the Euros. Enjoyed it. Hopefully it can be a bit more enjoyable next week with hopefully something positive coming out of Scotland. But before we wrap up, then I'm just going to ask you, who's impressed you the most players wise? Like, have you seen somebody that's really caught your eye? Who's been your top player of the first week so far?
Oh, it's a tough one, to be honest with you. I would say maybe either Lukaku or the boy that's at Inter with him for Italy. Forgot his name. Was it Berardi or something? I forgot his name.
Is he midfielder, Barella?
Aye, Barella. He impressed me the way he was moving the ball, how quick and things like that. Koke impressed me yesterday's game as well. But no, do you know what? I'm going to go with Big Lukaku. Big man gets disrespected all the time. I've just been really impressed with his performance there. Maybe Gini Wijnaldum and all. I thought he was quite impressive. There's been a few players who've got my eye personally, mate. What about yourself?
Italy, good few in there. Immobile, Berardi, Insigne was good. Barella, I like Locatelli as well for a young midfielder. Done really well. Just some of the stuff he can do with the ball. He's just making space and bringing players into the game. I liked what he brought you. Spinazzola as well at left back. Like, he had a good game as well the other night. Glenn Kamara, I'm no just because it's a Rangers podcast, I need to say it, but Glenn Kamara really impressed me. I was holding out for him in tough circumstances as well. He done really well. Lukaku, obviously. Wijnaldum. I'm going to go with. Who am I going to go with? I think I need to go with Lukaku as well, just for the reason that he just gets criticised all the time and he just buys goals all the time. Lukaku for me, top performance for him, 2 goals, and I expect him to get the golden boot as well. But that's it for the first Euros Weekly podcast then. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just before we go, mate, it's been football non-stop for me personally. I don't know about you. I've been watching the Copa America as well. And I must say that that goal Messi scored last night was just beautiful.
What do you expect, man?
I don't know what. I don't know how or why, but they always seem to have a good team and they just can't seem to do it. And like Chile got a penalty last night. It was a penalty. That's another thing. All Scotland should have had a penalty before half time. That Scott McTominay one was a penalty. Just to touch on that there, sorry, but just came to my mind. But no, I've just been watching the Copa America and I was watching for Alfredo, but it didn't come on, so it's kind of disappointed with that. But hopefully the next game, mate, hopefully.
I hopefully see a wee bit of Alfredo. I've been keeping an eye on it myself as well. Brazil got a win the other night. Argentina drew. And Colombia, they did win their game, if I remember rightly. So,
what a goal.
It's usually too late for me to keep my eyes open for it, but I watch the highlights in the morning. Messi was just, what a goal that was to wake up to this morning. So hoping to see a bit of Alfredo. I'll hopefully catch a bit of the games for that as well. But football non-stop, I'm loving it. 3 games a day. I cannot beat it at all. But that's all for the Euros Weekly podcast here on the Every Other Saturday podcast channel. Enjoyed talking about it today. As always, if you could like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you're listening on Spotify, if you could keep sharing it about, not only with Rangers fans this time, anybody that just likes 2 lads talking about football, share it about with them as well. It'd be much appreciated, and we'll be back next week to talk about the second week of the Euros. Will include that England-Scotland game, so stay tuned for that, and hopefully we can get something positive for it. Cheers.